Welcome back to the channel, and today's video task is simple. Build a monofoil. Now, what's a monofoil? Well, it's kind of a thing I just made up that is essentially a monowheel combined with a hydrofoil. I guess it'd be like a hydro monofoil, monohydrofoil. I don't know, kind of needs a hydro in there to have the description, an adequate descriptive name. But I have a vision in mind, and the vision is a compact unicycle monowheel looking thing that just like skirts across the top of the water in like a really effective and cool way. And I want it to be decently fast and decently maneuverable and feel like I'm just riding a motor-powered unicycle on water. All right, let's get started. So I'm thinking operator seat might be pretty cool for this. This is gonna be made possible by gyros like you. Should we have some suspension too? What if we have like what if we use the big old boy here? What if we use this? Could be kind of funny. It's kind of big for the purposes I wanted though. So let's not use it then. But I kind of feel like I do want suspension. So maybe I'll just have 4 of these. We need to propel ourselves through the water. And we need to stay at a certain level on the water as well. So I think, is a single outboard engine going to be fast enough for what I want to do here? All right, let's see how this feels. All right, that's something so far. I don't actually have steering built in or anything yet, but we're going pretty fast and we're staying on top of the water. If I slow down, we kind of sink into the water, and then if I go fast, like, it's already working like a hydrofoil. Now I just want it to feel fun and cool to drive. I want to like lean into the turns. I want to be able to like bank and stuff. I want this to be just a fun vehicle to watch and drive. So we do need some steering. The question is, do I add steering with like gyros, or do I try to add steering into like the foil itself? Like one thing I could potentially add, like a block right here, the steering hinge, and then add like a tail. It'll provide us some directional stability as well as some potential steering. Now, what are we gonna use for the tail? An oar? 2 oars? Either or? Let's see how this feels. All right, we're going, and then we steer. All right, it tries to work, but it doesn't work. Also, the steering help is bad. Turn steering help off. In order for that to work, we actually need some better resistance up in the front. I'm gonna put this here for some better hydrodynamics. And then down here, I think these will work. Hold on. I think these block what goes behind them. No, they don't. Okay, yeah, they don't. So that's gonna be bad for hydrodynamics. So I'll just put this here. All right, let's just see how this feels now. Looks like a little plane. It's like, doesn't really look like a hydrofoil right now. I was just wondering if I could possibly add lean into it without the use of a gyro, but let's just see what happens if I use a gyro. The gyro is gonna be the easy way. All right, so this will add a little bit of lean. There we go. Okay, the lean definitely add some steering. I don't have gyro steering right now. I only have the steering of that tail, but the lean dips the fins into the water, so it also behaves in its own way as well. But it's not good yet. Like I'm just holding left right now, and you can see it like goes sharper and less sharp and more and less sharp. We need consistency in order for it to be fun. It needs to be reliable. What I'm not liking is how big this is getting. When I imagined a monofoil, I imagined a pretty compact build. So I am wondering if I can reduce the footprint here at all. What if I delete this? I do move this up. All right, I got a new design. Let's see how this feels. All right, yeah, this should work. Okay. This is actually not too bad. All right, we do have the bouncing issue. So we're at 150. We're capping at 150 kilometers an hour with this current version. So out of curiosity, if I move this down, we're gonna have more consistent water contact, but now we're gonna have like this, worse hydrodynamics. Well, look at that. We actually are we're not way faster, but we are considerably faster. And this actually turns pretty well right now. Now, I think the reason why we're faster is because less of our creation is dipping into the water now. So I think that's definitely a factor. Okay. All right, this is starting to come together. I'm actually going to replace these though with more of these. Am I also able... No, well, that gets rid of the connection for these tails here. I want to try to fill this in. I could move these forward by like a block. Something as simple as this could make a big difference. So we were at like 160. All right, now we are not at 160. We're at 100. Why was that terrible? What made that so terrible? All right, I think it's these rear tail fins. Let me move these up. Okay, they're bad. They're pretty bad. I'll put the oars back. Wow. I didn't expect those to be a huge difference. That's kind of crazy that made that big of a difference. All right, now I want to fix some of the aerodynamics around here. All right, now we're at 177. When we turn, we go down a little bit, and the turning is kind of feeling pretty nice in my opinion. Like the lean feels pretty natural. And we're having consistent propeller contact with the water. We're not having this this is like weir bouncing sound. Like we stay nice and level, which is good. And the cool thing about like the hydrofoil effect that we're getting here is like our fins stay angled up a little bit because of our velocity, and that keeps us on the surface, but that also dips our tail just under the water, which allows it to turn me. And that's the only thing right now, other than the leaning, that's the only thing causing the turning. I don't actually have a yaw-based gyro or anything. Okay, so there is an issue though. If I turn too sharp back and forth, we end up going under, but then we come back up. All right, I added some boosters. I feel like they're gonna tip me forward though, so let's see what happens. Yeah. So they tip me, they do make me go a little bit faster, but then they tip me forward into the water. They would be really cool to be able to add, but they're gonna have to be closer to my center of mass. All right, where is my center of mass? Oh, they're right above. So if I just move these things down, like right there, that could work. Ah, I just realized that these gyros, oh wait, maybe I just did this, I don't know, but these gyros are not aligned. They are now. All right, now my center of thrust is more in line with my center of mass, so hopefully that'll prevent me from tipping forward when I add a boost. All right, here we go. Boost. Dang, it's so close. It is so close. All right, so with that going on, here's what I'm gonna try. Now that I know that my speed issue back then was from changing the oars out, I'm gonna put some blocks down like this, and then add, this is gonna serve two purposes. Gonna add this wedge block right here. So this wedge block is going to improve the aerodynamics by getting rid of these yellow arrows, but also add more up force. So hopefully that'll counteract that little bit of down force that that the thrusters are adding. All right, how's our speed looking? We're still in like the 170s. Okay, we slowed down. Why did we slow down? Well, 160s. All right, well, anyway. Boost. It did work. We're at 240. Oh, no, stay. 220. It's a weird thing that happens. All right, well, what happens if I turn while boosting? Oh, it's terrible. Oh, I am also realizing that some of my suspension is actually kind of pointless right now. These ones are not attached to anything. All right, weirdly enough, I got rid of the extra suspension. Oh, no, that makes sense. Actually, totally makes sense now. I'm gonna increase the suspension. The suspension was causing the rest of my vehicle to dip into the water more. Now with stronger suspension, we stay less in the water. How much of our vehicle goes in the water definitely affects our speed, which I think is kind of the whole point of hydrofoils in the first place, is minimal surface area and contact with the water. All right, so now we definitely have a higher top speed, but our turning is like this, which I don't like. See, I want it to be like this when it stabilizes out and becomes consistent, but you can see when I start the turn, it has this, like, it catches and bounces in this way. That's not good. All right, I'm gonna save what I have right now because I'm gonna start making some more dramatic changes. Just out of curiosity, how does this thing function without the tail? All right, well, it loses stability. What if we don't have a, oh, that's interesting. What if we don't have a hydrofoil tail, but we have a air-based tail that maybe it dips into the water just a little bit. So I'm thinking like these. That should give us directional stability. And they do dip in the water just a little bit. They aren't going to steer though. Leaning, interestingly enough, leaning by itself is almost enough to turn the way we want to turn. Just because we angle our hydrofoil against the water, causing a little bit of a turn there. So maybe I should lean even more. Look at that. We go even faster now with the booster, 257. Ooh, this is feeling cool. Now what if I turn full boost? Not much turning. We're skimming the top of the water. We go faster turning because we end up getting out of the water a little bit. That's interesting. Do like straight line, 256, 257. Then I turn and we actually go a little bit faster. That is a little bit counterintuitive, but look at that. We have like we're on like a corner. This is pretty cool. Interesting that taking the turning out of the tail kind of seems to be helping a little bit. Now I just want to be able to turn sharper. So let me see what happens if I add more lean into the system. All right, more lean. Oh, that's too much. Let's go in between when it comes to the lean. All right, slightly stronger lean. It is definitely too much still. All right, we might need to do, this just needs to be more fine-tuned, I guess. Because I went from 3 to 5, now down to 4, and I'm gonna go 3.5. We're just gonna keep going in the middle each time until we get something that is not worse than what we've already had. That's almost good, but it still dips us in too much. It's like almost really good. What happens if I'm boosting while I do this? Boosting is so fun. All right, really bad turning when I'm boosting. What can I do to turn that isn't just using a gyro? I'm gonna do something out of curiosity and add this as a tail, kind of like we had before. That's bad. That is definitely worse. It's actually better at high speeds. This is pretty good at high speeds, but at low speeds, we get this going on. Now, here's something I haven't messed with is gyro stabilizer settings. So these ones that are responsible for my forward and back, what if I bump them up? Oh boy, now I don't go up. I don't go up anymore. All right, well, that obviously can't do that. 3.5. Wow, so much worse. Look at this thing, which is from 3 to 3.5 on the gyros. Did I happen to have them at like the perfect setting? So obviously less is more. So let's go let's go back to 3 just to confirm that 3 is good. Because I had it at 3 by default. We get out of the water fine. We start driving perfectly fine. Wow, huge difference. Now let's go under 3, see what happens. Let's go 2.75. Okay, here we go. Seems about the same so far. And then this happens when I turn, which is also about the same. Well, here, let me take away the turning again that I added in because I haven't really liked that too much. All right, now we lean. Is this worse? All right, so we're at 160, then we turn. We kind of bounce around 110. It gets worse and worse. Now let's go back to the setting I had it before. So 160 to 110. Now we go back to 3 from 2.75. All right, still easily 160. And 112, there we go, we're at 110 again. Seems a little bit better though. Marginally. Very marginally better. I think 3 is a good setting to have. Just happened to get it right the first time. I'm gonna try some more. It's hard to tell what I need to do to this thing to make it any better because we're like really close to a nice thing right here. But one thing I know is trailing hydrodynamics matter. All right, our speed seems faster now. What about steering? Steering seems okay. All right, well, that's interesting. We got a little bit of improvement there. So now here, let me turn this around. So now we can see like this all matters. So now if I do that, let's see what we get to. All right, top speed, 177. I don't know what the top speed was before I added those in. Let's check it. 171. So adding those in did make it better. Yeah, see, we're back to 177. But the angle could also matter here. So if I do this, so then I can have them both in the down direction. What is this? Oh, wait, what? How? Oh, this isn't an attachment point. Well, it could be. I just gotta do this. This is definitely gonna affect things. Let's see what happens. All right, we're bouncy now is the problem. But look at this boost speed. We're really stable on top of the water. Oh boy, turn. Oh no, turning's bad. All right, I got a little bit more speed. We're over 180 now. All I did was change the back ones to be triangle, like combined triangle instead of 2 downward wedges. But the only difference now is that my bottom wedges in the front are 4x1s instead of the 2x1s. So it just has a little bit more hydrodynamics. When we go fast, we're braking 270. The issue right now, my only issue with, like, everything is doing so well. My only issue with this right now is my turning is very wide. I really wanted to be able to like carve through with a lot of control. And I'm not seeing how to do that. Unless maybe I have like an air brake of sorts. I put these things on the front, these little wings here. We're still around like 170, 178. Now if I turn, you can see it ruins everything. So good idea, ScrapMan. All right, now they're facing back, which I think actually kind of fits with the creation a little bit more. And then I turn right. And yeah, it's a lot worse. All right, now I have it going less, but still doing something. And that feels not bad, but I don't know if it's better than what we had before, to be honest. We don't have the most agility. I don't know how to get agility out of this thing without ruining it. I like can't even turn when I'm going booster speed. You know, out of curiosity right now, let's see what calm waves feels like. We do have a little bit of suspension as well. All right, well, it definitely feels like I'm on waves, that's for sure. Oh, look at that. That actually feels pretty nice. It's handling the waves really well, at least in a straight line. Turning, I don't know. It's not too bad. This is so close to what I want it to be. I'm like 90% of the way there. Like even boosting on the waves and turning, like you don't sink, you don't go unstable or anything. It's just bad at turning is the only problem. I'm kind of a fan. All right, I've added a slight modification to the tail down there. You can see there's a steering hinge. So now when I steer, it turns a little bit and it does provide sharper steering, although it is a little bit less stable. You can see I bounce in the water a little bit. I think I can maybe fine tune it just a little, with just the angle, maybe like 20 degrees is gonna be better. It does feel a little bit better. It does add that slight bouncing effect, which I really don't like, but I have way more, I have a sharper steering, which is nice. So then we go like full speed ahead. It hasn't changed our top speed too much. But now I do have a little bit of steering even at maximum like boosted speed, which does feel nice. If I slow down, I could definitely turn sharper. It's feeling natural. I just wanted more agility overall. So one thing I do want to try, this is probably not going to affect agility much. I'm going to try to add an additional suspension segment just to give it more of like a unicycle vibe. Oh, this affects my center of mass. This is probably a bad idea actually with the boost. Okay, now we're definitely going to be farther above the water. Yeah, now we're just bouncing. We're bouncing more because the center of thrust and mass is more misaligned. So that's unfortunate. It does look, I do kind of like when the cockpit is separated more from the water, but I don't think that the benefit of that outweighs the cost of the functionality. So yeah, just by deleting those and bringing it back to where it was like this, it looks more like one solid unit rather than like a creation on top of a hydrofoil, but look at how stable our trajectory is. And that's just because the center of thrust is closer to the center of mass and it just stabilizes a lot better. Look at this thing. All right, this might be the best version I'm gonna get. I think it looks okay. It definitely functions well enough. It's not gonna be on any high agility race courses anytime soon, but on the open ocean, this thing is definitely a load of fun. So let me just paint it up a little bit, and then we'll do a final little. We'll try some precision driving with it. See how it goes. All right, I'm all painted up now. I think this thing looks pretty cool. So let's see if we can drive without crashing. I don't think we're gonna do very well in like an enclosed space, and at least as far as this map goes, we really only have like this one enclosed bay area. So I don't know how this is gonna go. Wait, why are only one of my thrusters? Only one of my thrusters are... Wait, what? Did you see that? Only one of them was triggering for a bit. Oh, okay, hold on. If I slow down, I can turn sharper. All right, and turn. Okay, this is a problem. I don't like it anymore. When I'm in an open ocean, everything feels pretty nice, but in the enclosed space here, I don't like it. It just doesn't turn sharp enough. I mean, I can control myself where I eventually want to go, but it just takes a while. Yeah, turn. Oh, that was close. It's fast at least. It's got the speed, just not the agility. All right, I thought about it, and I can't think of any way to make this agile without like ruining the speed or the aesthetic of it, or completely redesigning it from scratch. Because we definitely need some stronger steering in the back there, but from experience, I've swapped out things back there a lot, and it's changed my speed a lot, and also when it does turn, it just ends up being too aggressive, and it turns us into the water too much. So I don't have any solutions for that. So I think with what I've got right now, I'm pretty happy with it. It looks really nice as it drives across the water. It's just lacking a little bit of agility, but maybe it's just not an agility build. Here, can we just like go over here a little bit? There we go. Yes, when you're full boosting, turning is very, very bad. But as soon as you release the boost, you get a little bit of steering back. What happens if we go up on land? I'm gonna try to do a little something here. There, look at that. Look at that. It can skim across the land. It's like the opposite of skimboarding. Instead of skimming across the water, you just skim across the land. Oh, or you just ram into it if it's a little bit too aggressive. But easy recovery. So there you have it, the hydro monofoil or something. I feel like the monofoil it's good enough. What are those extra water collisions? You see that? The ones on the right. That's not normal. Why is it doing that? It didn't used to do that. Here, what if I backspace? That's not normal. Yeah, see, this is normal. We only have the center one. Where were those coming from? That was weird. You know what happened? I have to wait for my repair token to come back. Hold on. I think it happened when I repaired. Let me see if I can reproduce that real quick. All right, and now I'm gonna repair. There it is. So, oh, interesting. There it goes. So when I repaired, you can see my my brake fins, my air brakes. They start in build mode in the out position. And it started me in build mode with those in the out position, and I was like contacting the water. And now I just think for some reason it's just reading those as still being in contact, but it doesn't seem to affect my speed at all, which is nice. Just adds for a cool visual effect. All right, there we go. Hydrofoil or monofoil, mostly success, 90% success. I'm curious if anyone's able to come up with a version that meets my idealized version of it. But if you guys enjoyed this video, you'll probably enjoy some more you can find right here on the end screen. Hope this video has earned your subscription. Anyway, this has been ScrapMan, and I'll see you next time. Bye.